welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and I've got a spicy brew from Patreon subscribers Akratos and Jam Stoneforge. This is Rug Kraken Greater Good combo. This is not the first time Akratos has sent me a deck with Greater Good and Phyrexian Dreadnought in it. That's been something on his mind for a while now. But recently, Eternal Durdles had an episode where they talked about the state of control, and Force of Phil Blackman, mentioned that he's been using Omniseas to try to win games. And that put these three pieces together for our brewers here. Omniseas, 1 and a blue. Whenever you draw a card, put a foreshadow counter on Omniseas, remove 8 of those counters, make an 8/8 Kraken. An 8/8 Kraken happens to draw 8 cards if you feed it to Greater Good. Sack a creature, draw cards equal to that creature's power, then discard 3 cards. That gives you 8 draws for another Kraken. Here we have demonstrated a loop that could draw your deck 8 cards at a time. Once we're looping, there are 2 Lotus Petals and 3 Lightning Bolts with which to kill your opponent, because there are also 2 Endurances and enough green cards to cycle your deck enough times to bolt your opponent enough times to deal 20 damage. The deck gets to play Phyrexian Dreadnought because that's a sick thing to just fire into a Greater Good. If you don't even have a consign or a dress down or any way to keep the Dreadnought, you could just draw 12 in response to its trigger. And then you don't care that you don't have a 12/12 because it's already drawn 12 cards. Once you draw 12 cards once, you should be able to figure out a plan from there. That's a pretty easy 1-2 situation. Kiora the Rising Tide, an exciting card to be included in this deck, from MTG Foundations. 2 and a blue, Merfolk Noble, shout out Mike Noble. Put this in your commander deck. When Kiora enters, draw 2, then discard 2. Threshold, when she attacks, if there are 7 or more cards in your graveyard, make Scion of the Deep a legendary 8/8 blue octopus. And we know what 8/8 octopuses do in this deck. They get sacrificed to the Greater Good. This is just another way to crap out an 8/8. It's also a pivot if you just don't have a Greater Good. Having this 3/2 creature with card selection attached that makes an 8/8 is great. And that's half the reason Arena of Glory is in the deck, because it can be hard to get a whole turn and then attack with a 3-mana creature in Legacy, but if Kiora has haste, she could create the 8/8 immediately. Which brings me to kind of sad news, but we decided to play the deck anyway. Dress Down and Arena of Glory should operate on timestamps, meaning if Arena of Glory was tapped for mana after Dress Down came into play, the creature should still get haste, even if its other abilities are removed. But that does not work on Magic Online. If you use Arena of Glory mana to cast a creature and in response Dress Down happens, the expected thing happens. But if you end step Dress Down, which is a common play pattern in Dreadnought decks, you should be able to go to your turn, use Arena mana to get a hasty Dreadnought, but unfortunately that doesn't work on Magic Online. If you want to fiddle the list to have more good sides and fewer Dress Downs, knowing that, that is a reasonable thing to do. But I'm going to play the list as is, and we just won't have haste on our Dreadnought some amount of the time. But it still works with Kiora. And we still play Consigned Memory. Could have a hasty Dreadnought, and Dreadnought attacking is only part of what its job is in this deck anyway, thanks to the Greater Good. A lot going on here. So much that it broke Magic Online, in fact. This main deck Cast in the Fire might look weird, but Orcish Bowmaster and Chalice of the Void are the 2 things we're most worried about, and this answers both of them cleanly. I think that's the last thing I need to talk about. Let's just try to make this happen. I love a tempo combo pivot main deck multi-modal attack deck, and here we have one. Let's do it. Legacy of the North is Ontario's premier MTG community. Experience the Legacy format in any of their 15+ participating stores in Southern Ontario. The King in the North Invitational Series rewards the top 32 finishers each season with a chance to become the King or Queen of the North, who get the trophy, the ring, and free Legacy events for the next season. Come to ETB Oakville's proxy-friendly Legacy 5K on March 29th to compete for big money and begin your King of the North journey. Info is at legacynorth.com, linked in the video description. I'm on the play in round 1 versus a Yorion strategy. I'm going to keep my hand. Planar Genesis is in the deck because it pitches to Force and Endurance. over other options like Ponder that only pitch to 1. And guess what? I have Force and Endurance in this hand. I don't think Endurance is really going to be a card I use in most Yorion matchups. I guess Yorion Breakfast is a thing that exists. I have this little Urza Saga rollout situation. Plains Mother. Okay. I don't think I'm fighting over Mother of Runes here. I'm just going to get my Saga Sagan. My opponent is almost certainly a Wasteland deck, like 99.9%. They would have to be doing something I've never heard of in my life to not be a Wasteland deck right now. That's not Wasteland, though. We dodged. Seeing the fetch land in Death and Taxes is concerning, though. That usually means black is the second color. Here's this Swamp revealed. And that means Orcish Bowmaster is in the mix, which is a card that I'm going to have to force. Tamiyo showing up right on time. Actually, Tamiyo kind of rules here, because pitching her to the Force, I like that more than pitching Planar Genesis. Which is weird to say, but with Endurance and Greater Good in hand already, moving in the general direction of executing my combo is exciting to me. And they just played a Caracas. Recruiter of the Guard. It's always like, do I fight over the Recruiter or what they get with it? And in this case, I'm going to fight over what they get with it. Skyclave Appy. That only exiles non-token things. But the non-token things it exiles do include Greater Good, unfortunately. Okay, do I want another Construct? Or do I want to cast Greater Good this turn? I think I want another Construct. I have to tutor Lotus Petal here. I'm not ready to make a Dreadnought. Those are the only options. I kind of want to just play Saga and keep the train rolling here. Because this next Saga, I could line it up that I can have Greater Good in play before I tutor a Dreadnought. Okay. It's getting weird. The Skyclave Apparition can exile my Lotus Petal, which is basically just a hard removal spell. I really don't want to Force of Will anything that isn't Orcish Bowmaster, though. I can't really think of what I'm worried about out of their deck outside of that card. I guess if they play the Skyclave Apparition next turn. Alright, so this deletes one of my constructs, but those are mostly a distraction anyway. It's fine. See you later, buddy. The Recruiter is getting in the second Caracas. Okay. I think I will win this game before either Vial's a problem. That's my plan anyway. Another Force. Okay. I am casting Greater Good here, and my plan is to shred my deck next turn. I guess I want Volcanic Island here, or is it Taiga? They're largely interchangeable. All right, I'll get Volcanic Island, and then play Greater Good. And suddenly, my opponent has to think about a bunch of shit that they were not thinking about a moment ago. I have double Force of Will available. The Vial's on 1, which is 1 short of Orcish Bowmaster. If they Wasteland my Saga right now, that would be a bummer. That did not happen. A Force pitching Tamiyo. Waited our whole lives for this moment. And I don't think I'm going to make a Construct, even though it would be a bunch of extra loots off Greater Good. I think I'd rather have my mana up when I look at 12 cards. Drew a Dress Down. I could just keep Dreadnought now, but I don't actually want to do that. I want to win the game. Okay, grab Dreadnought. Right now, Construct is a clean draw 3, discard 3, but I think I just don't care. 12 cards to my hand. Here's Kiora, who can come in with haste. Another Dreadnought, that's another draw. I don't need this Taiga. I don't need the second Arena of Glory. And I don't think I need this Tamiyo. Okay. And then I will decline to sacrifice creatures with power 12 or greater. I did not draw a Seize yet. Have to find one of those. Play another Dreadnought. Slurp that one up as well. A bunch of lands I don't need, another Dreadnought. Still no Seize. Discard, fetch land, fetch land, fetch land. There are 22 cards left in my deck. Play another Dreadnought. If I'm out of Dreadnoughts before I find a Seize, then it'll be hard to trigger. Oh my goodness. Oh no, there is a Seize. Alright, cool, we did it. Discard a bunch of stuff that doesn't matter, mostly lands. And now it's just about looping through the deck enough. I'm going to Seize. I'll play Volcanic Island because Lightning Bolt is my path out of here. And green cards for endurance are now important. Okay, lightning bolt you. I have a dreadnought in my hand. I need one more mana. Okay, here's another lotus petal. Lightning bolt you again. Just pitch a generic green card to endurance. I will target myself with endurance, and in response to its trigger, feed it to greater good. I want the endurances in the mix still. It's 3 counters on Ominous Seas, and we don't need lands anymore, or dress downs. They're about to be in my deck, but whatever. We'll see them again. I should float the Lotus Petal now, actually. All right, I'll make a blue off Lotus Petal, and then that'll go into my deck. Okay, I think I sequenced that correctly. And then Dreadnought, and we're going around again. We now have the loop demonstrated. Draw 12. What a delight this is. Discard 3. 1 bajillion counters on Ominous Seas. And they've had enough. Cool. Okay, playing against Death and Taxes, I like Kozilek's Return. I like Consigned to Memory. Pyroclasm. If it's not for this, what's it for? Brazen Borrower has some useful text. Spell Pierce, pretty bad. Lightning Bolt, necessary to win. Cast in the Fire is great. Kiora might be middling here, but this is a matchup where maybe I can just put a bunch of shrimp into play. I think I'm going to shave a Kiora, though. I normally like shaving forces versus Death and Taxes, but because I'm a combo deck, I'm a little more interested in having them around. Tamio's pretty bad against the deck that plays 4 copies of Karakas. She is still blue for my forces, but I have a lot of blue cards. Dress Down is just naturally good against what they're doing, because their whole deck is based on creatures with abilities. Yeah, I'm boarding in almost as many blue cards as I'm cutting. I think this is fine. Force of Vigor and Null Rod both will have targets versus Death and Taxes, but I don't think they're good enough to bring in when I'm trying to focus on executing a combo. Oof, a 1-lander, and it happens to be Hedge Maze. 1 Wasteland last game would have collapsed my game plan. How willing am I to risk this? I think I'm going to keep. I just like hands that have 7 cards in them. I will force an Aether Vial this game, if it happens right now. Prismatic Vista. Swamp. Are we getting Thoughtseize? Hell yeah. Alright, well, I'm not forcing that. If they take the Lotus Petal, I'll be very scared. Yeah, Force or Brainstorm would have been my guess, and Brainstorm's out of here. Another Force. Don't love it. Show me a land. Easy game. And it's not a very good land, but it is a land. And they let on Swamp, so even if they do Wasteland me here, they're probably not casting another spell. This arena has to enter tapped, but I am slowly making my way into this game. And I can Planar Genesis if there's an emergency. Shadowy Backstreet. There's Wasteland. Okay. I am going to Planar Genesis here. Scalding Tarn is better than Urza Saga, unfortunately. Now I got this going. Dreadnought. Okay. No use for that yet. And I guess I don't actually have anything going because I can't cast another Planar Genesis with what I have. I could ice the Shadowy Backstreet right now, and then I'd have to force a Bowmaster. I think it's worth it, though. Ice your Backstreet. They floated a white. I drew a non-land card. Basic Plains. Okay, 3 mana again. Now I can bolt something and cast Planar Genesis. Land number 4, and the only card they've played this game is Thoughtseize. They're on the control grind. Pithing Needle, so that's going to name Greater Good. I think I have to let this happen. I have the Brazen Borrower in. I don't have Greater Good yet. Casting the Fires in my deck somewhere. Planar Genesis, let's go. Another Arena. All right, it's not a legend. I'll take it. Kiora would rip pretty hard here. Okay, Hardcast Force is live. We're also on the control plan, which is not really where I want to be versus Death and Taxes, but it's where I am, where I find myself. Okay, I'm going to just Lightning Bolt this. I mentioned Hardcast Force, but I think bolting a thing that is there to bolt is fine. Force can also counter Swords to Plowshares if I find the ability to put this Dreadnought into play. And now they are pushing damage. Slow damage, but it's still damage. Another bolt. Okay. We're grinding, team. End step, they got another Shadowy Backstreet. Cap the card. I love Magic the Gathering. In Game 1, we saw me resolve 1 silly permanent, then draw my deck multiple times, and in this game, I'm genuinely concerned about the beatdowns being threatened by this 1/1 creature. Here I am going to force I have so much red mana. I'm just going to get a Trop rather than a Taiga. Because I have this on the hard cast, I'll use it. And if they sneak another Bowmaster in on their last 2 mana, I have Bolt for that. Well, there's Dress Down. Wish this Dreadnought could have haste, but it cannot. Okay, blue, colorless. Why did that kill the Orc army? It shouldn't. That's a... Okay, well, that's a bug. Dress Down just breaking the game all over the place. Yeah, that's a 0/0 with a +1 counter on it. Dress Down should not affect that. Finding a blue card to go with my force is great. They have 3 cards in hand. I can now force a Solitude, a Flicker Wisp, a Swords to Plowshares, a Felia. They have so many ways to remove a Dreadnought in their deck. I'm just by the skin of my ass here trying to get it done. The Bolt would have actually killed them this turn if my Dreadnought had haste. That's sad. And there's Solitude. Yeah, I'll go to my turn before I just bolt this thing. See if I come up with anything else. Okay, bolt this thing. And now Consign to Memory, a card that would have beaten the Solitude last turn. But we're both in the dregs now. They bought their Yorion. Brainstorm. I would be surprised if they had sat on a Bowmaster this long. But what am I even trying to hit? I'm going to be patient here. I'm at 26. I got time to figure this out. Oh, wow. Well, glad I didn't just walk into that. Brainstorm in response. Greater Good Dreadnought. All right, well, we're ready, except we are busy being dead to this Bowmaster. Okay, I'm going to put back Greater Good and Scalding Tarn, and I will try to just send in another Dreadnought off my Consign this turn. And this one can have haste. No! All right. I don't want you to know about this. Okay, Pithing Needle is in. We've seen it. Yeah, they just didn't draw Caracas that game, which is the only reason Kiora was an exciting draw. Tamiyo would have been good as well. Maybe I can go down 1 Greater Good, up 1 Force of Vigor. Just kind of hedge in both directions. Now I can answer Pithing Needle, and I'm less exposed to it at the same time. Here we go. Okay, solid hand. I'm going to keep it. Just some anti-D&T business here. I'll get this Lotus Petal out. I don't think they would Thoughtseize it, but why give them the option? Scrubland, Thoughtseize. I'm going to Brainstorm in response. I can't hide everything, but I can at least tuck away this Pyroclasm, or if I come up with a Dreadnought, I could hide Dreadnought Consign. Or Dreadnought Tamiyo. Okay. If I put back Pyroclasm and Consign, though I don't really want to go aggro on... Yeah, I don't really want to go aggro against this deck anyway. All right, I'm going to put back Pyroclasm and Tamiyo. And then they can decide which half of this combo they're more worried about. I hope they leave me with Consign, but it will depend on what their hand is doing. Normally, Consign would be a no-brainer, but the fact that they've seen the Greater Good loop, where I don't care if Dreadnought actually stays in play, and their deck is just full of ways to remove a Dreadnought. Yeah, okay. That seems like the right call from my perspective. Scalding Tarn and Tamiyo. I can decide if I want Pyroclasm on my next draw step. The one Tamiyo still in the deck. Do they have one of their 4 Caracases ready? They do. Disappointing. Okay, Thoughtseizing me again. You want to remove the Tamiyo forever? Or break up the Dreadnought? Okay, Tamiyo's gone. How much do I value Pyroclasm over trying to do something here? I think I'm going to try to do something. I'm going to fetch Hedge Maze. And Brainstorm, let's go. That could be anything. Okay, Brainstorm. Dreadnought Consign. All right. Put back Island and Misty. Fetch a Trop and just shove this in. Trop. Dreadnought. Consign. Okay, here we go. Unfortunately, their deck's really good at beating creatures, but if I can distract them long enough with something like this to draw Greater Good and get the other one looping, that's a plan. I just have so many cards that remove this thing. Yeah, that's one of them. It's not even the most devastating one, though. Okay. Big Rips. Cast Into the Fire. That does not kill this thing. It doesn't do anything. All right, pass the turn. It protects my Greater Good if I draw it. This is not fire. It deals 1 to each of up to 2 creatures. It does not deal 2 damage divided as you choose. Thoughtseize shit. All right, well. They've drawn a lot of those. Control gaming. A Death Dex is always a control deck, but attacking my hand like this is brutal. Oh no. We're getting not flooded. And a dress down puts 24 power into play. That's pretty good. And I do play a lot of those. They're going down the back street. Dump to plains. 5 mana. They could start moving towards the Yorion phase of the game, or they could just represent Solitude forever. Yorion has been purchased. Oh my god. Well, dress down just keeps getting better. And they were sitting on the Bowmaster anyway. That's fine. That wasn't even my plan, sucker. I get one more draw step this game if they play the Yorion. There's Mother. Taking it slow. One unknown in the hand. I think it must be Solitude, if this is how they're doing this. Ugh. Well, I am not playing a game where I don't cast this card, so let's do our best. If they have a second Bowmaster in hand, that would be so sick. Okay, put back 2 of these Dreadnoughts. Or one of the Dreadnoughts, one of the lands. I don't think there's any outs from here. Or, yeah, even the Pyroclasm now is too late because the Orc Army's a 4/4. A blue-green Planar Genesis. Well, Pyroclasm is there, but I'm dead. Alright, good effort, everybody. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the draw in round 2. I've played a lot of Dreadnought in my life, and so far this league has the highest percentage of them all being in my hand. I'm going to mulligan this. I will keep this one, and I think I'm going to bottom the Greater Good. That is the one that is the chunkiest and takes the longest to matter. Volcanic Island, Dragon's Rage Channeler. Okay. Level land. We did it. Okay, that lets me play basic Island Tamiyo here. If they daze this, I gotta flush dazes out of their hand anyway. Set you back a land. If they don't daze it, I have Tamiyo. Lightning Bolt. You got it. Kept the card on top. That's gonna be awkward for their fetch land. Now if they fetch, they lose the card that they want to keep. I don't want to call it a sequencing error, but it is an awkward outcome of sequencing. I'm just gonna bolt now. Let's get this thing out of here before it does any bigger damage. I also love how much it looks like a pseudo tempo mirror right now. And they did fetch away the card they kept on top from the Surveil. No longer interested and or forgot it was there. And they're still interested in the card on top. The Motobug. Ponder. Did not shuffle Ponder. They have a 3/3 DRC now. The Genesis. Okay, I could just Planar Genesis and protect it with Spell Pierce right now. I'm not going to play Kiora into Daze. I would really like... Yeah, this might seem crazy, but I'm going to Planar Genesis before I brainstorm here. I would love to find an Arena of Glory. Did not find an Arena. I found Cast on Fire, which doesn't do anything, and Urza's Saga, which might do something. Alright, yeah, we'll put Saga into play. And pass the turn. I am ready to be Threshold. If this Kiora comes into play, she will create Threshold for me. I'm actually just there if I brainstorm anyway. Speaking of which, I am going to actually hold up the Spell Pierce to protect Kiora rather than try to fight over random cantrips from my opponent. I thought about it for a second. I don't think it's right. That's not a Wasteland. It could be a Murktide Regent, but it's not a Wasteland. My goodness. Okay, they made it full size, which means that DRC is not Delirious anymore. Lotus Petal. I'm not particularly excited about that. They would need Force and Daze to counter a Kiora here. Alright, I'll play Kiora. They would probably pitch Daze to Force if they have both of those cards. I'm out here looting, trying to find my combo. Okay, draw 2, discard 2. I'm going to dump Lotus Petal, and it seems crazy to discard a Brainstorm here, but I actually do need a green source. Alright. It's happened. And I will pass the turn, I guess. I have Dragon's Rage Channeler simply beat in combat with my 3/2 versus their 1/1. They do have 3 mana and untapped, so now if they just bolt or Chain Lightning, oh my goodness. They're targeting me. Okay. This is a sorcery. I do have red to send it back. Do I want to? Because they can send it back at me too. I'd go to 7, but I would kill Dragon's Rage Channeler. Alright, whatever. Let's game. Alright, 3 damage to Dragon's Rage Channeler. They can put it back on Kiora, or they can Force of Will it. And this creates Delirium and I'm dead. Or no, I'm not dead, because they didn't send it back. I'm at 1. Game on! I'm at 1. They got 1 card in hand. Okay. There. So you're saying there's a chance. Tamiyo. Not going to do a lot here. I should... I want to brainstorm. I guess I have to brainstorm. Because flipping Tamiyo is not going to save me here. Alright, I have to brainstorm before I do anything else. I'm going to seize. Is there anything that matters here? Well, the fetch land certainly doesn't. And Tamiyo could chump, I guess. Put back the Spell Pierce. Yeah, I don't even know. That thing can fly. I'll get a Lotus Petal. And green-blue. Go for the Genesis. I found Endurance, who I cannot cast because I've tapped incorrectly, but that wouldn't have saved me anyway. I don't believe this turn is survivable because they have 2 flyers. 1 mana short of playing Greater Good, which also doesn't matter. Okay, I'm just not going to reveal any additional information. That was a tight one. I mean, the cards were all there, but obviously we're playing against a Legacy deck. Brazen Borrower, Pyroblast coming in. I don't want Cast into the Fire. This deck is not going to have Bowmaster or Chalice of the Void. And if I kill an Unflipped Delver or an Undelirious DRC, that's fine, but mostly, what am I doing with this? My opponent saw some weird cards, but didn't really see what I was up to. Dress Down has basically no utility in this matchup except putting Dreadnought into play, which is useful, but it's not actually that good. I like Tamiyo. I like having access to the combo, especially since they haven't seen it. I think I can shave a Force because we're going up these Pyroblasts, even though Force is pretty important to protect my combo. I think I'm going to lose the Kiora here as well. Okay, here we go. The Mono Gruul hand. I will mulligan this hand that doesn't have blue mana in it. Okay, this one's fine. I'm going to keep this and get rid of probably Kiora. Channeler. We can bounce that someday, if that is important to me. I'm going to get Hedge Maze. Tamiyo, we love it. Tamiyo on top. I don't love that Taiga doesn't cast Spell Pierce. Wasteland sucks. Taking me off blue, good bet. Yeah, Spell Pierce that. Oh wait, I can't. I'm going to force pitching Spell Pierce on this Chain Lightning. I think this is important to have a Tamiyo. Come on, lands. Oh yeah, Magic's easy. Mono Gruul gaming continues. At least it's untapped though. Ponder does not increase Delirium. Dump Delver. The Surveil increases Delirium. We've got a second land. That's unfair. And they've got a Pyroblast. I guess I will draw a card and see if I draw another Force. We're in full ugly mode right now. Brainstorm. Okay, can't cast that one. Taking damage. They're down to 3 cards in hand. Can't cast any of the spells in my hand. Pass. Channeler's getting in. I hope they just, like, tap out for a Murktide here. I didn't want to see that one. Though if I draw a green source, Endurance is really good here. Oh, that is disastrous, but okay. I guess I could have brainstormed with the Lotus Petal and tried to hit a real land. Okay, I am gonna cast this Endurance and be dead to days. But this is really good if it works. Force pitching Ponder, and I can't Pyroblast it. I basically have to draw Lightning Bolt right now to give myself another turn. Okay, very dead. Okay, so 2 matches, 2 Wasteland matchups. I did look at this when I was sent the deck and gave it a little bit of thought and just figured I'll let it ride and see how I feel about it. But 2 Taiga, 2 Arena of Glory, 1 Boseiju, 2 Urza Saga that don't cast Brainstorm or Tamiyo. That's 7 of our 21 lands that don't cast the core spells that make this work. You do have to be able to cast a green-green spell eventually, and supporting blue-green is important. I wonder if Urza Saga just shouldn't be in the deck. Because unless you have Dress Down or Greater Good ready to go, you're just getting Lotus Petal without a real way to do anything with Dreadnought. Yeah, I think I would probably play 0 Sagas, 1 Taiga, 1 Arena of Glory, and then just play fetches or duels in the basic blue base rug colors to improve that part of the deck. And that doesn't really affect the combo at all. Yeah, that sounds better already. Let's go on to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the draw in round 3 with what we just talked about. Urza Saga is my only mana source in a hand that I would keep if it had blue in a mulligan. I will make this work. Keep and get rid of Endurance. A Saga Mirror. Lotus Petal. It is the mirror. It is not the mirror. Okay, Patches of Houlihan. I could force this right now. Yeah, I don't know how much Spell Pierce is going to do in this matchup. If I could take the pressure off, that gives me more time to figure out my life. If they follow up with Ancient Tomb, they still have a plan. But that was a 2 for 2. I got the Lotus Petal with the Patches. That's not an Ancient Tomb. Mox Opal. They could cast Emery now. I can bolt her. Okay, sick. Oh, it's the Leyline Axe build. Cool. I have recorded this for the channel. I'm not sure if it will come out before or after this video, but this is out there. I am just going to bolt Emery here. Oh no. My opponent said they have to restart the client BRB and then conceded the match. You're not going to BRB if you concede. They must have hit the wrong button on their way out. Well, that's really sad, but we are on the board now. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set, and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables. I'm on the play for round 4. I will keep this hand that can cast Tamiyo on turn 1. First appearance of Ominous Seas, just on the fair side. I found it at the bottom of my deck when I was going off in round 1, and this is the second time I've seen it since. No, I think I brainstormed into it on the turn I died to Delver as well. I lied. I lied to you all, I'm sorry. I think I have to fetch Volcanic Island here. Wasteland be damned. Just gotta play the game with the cards I have. Opponent went on to 6 on their mulligan. And it's Volk Tamiyo time. I really like Tamiyo. This card rules. Just a lot of kind of mopey dopey weirdo decks I've been playing lately are just also 3 Tamiyos, and then it's fine. Okay, I'm getting Thought Seized. Have a look at my hand. What do you think I'm playing? Swamp Thought Seized could be a combo deck, could be someone out here playing Pox. Is it weird that I'm trying to draw conclusions based on this M21 Swamp they're playing? I feel like combo players take themselves pretty seriously, and they would have some pride in their basic lands. Either that or they just imported a list from Goldfish and hit send without actually looking at it at all. It's hard to tell. But M21 was 5 years ago, 4.5 years ago it came out, so they have an existing Magic Online account. If this was a Foundations land, that might make me think they just got Magic Online. I don't actually think that hard about my opponent's basics. I was just killing airtime while they resolved their Thoughtseize and decided that Endurance was the problem. I'd like a land or a Brainstorm here. It's got to be a graveyard combo deck if they care about Endurance when I don't even have a green card. Dress down, not going to help, probably. Not immediately, anyway. I will generate my clue, pass the turn, and hope they don't have Wasteland. Urborg, okay, my Grixis man is online. I don't think I'm just going to cheese bolt them. Okay, Force of Will, and as far as non-land cards go, that is one of the better ones I could draw. Just in case they have Bowmaster or Dothy Voidwalker or something. It's not like I'm pushing damage. Entomb. Well, I will force that, pitching Ominous Seas. They took Endurance with Thoughtseize, and then they cast the card Entomb. I'm pretty sure it's Reanimator. Is that controversial? Oh my god. The one thing about the construction of this deck as well is to make room for the Planar Genesis. It's not playing Ponder, and Ponder is part of the mana base and all the decks that play it. Oh, we're Turbo Depths. This is fun. So I'm going to lose here. Countering this trigger doesn't matter because it'll just go right back on the stack. All right, well, are there any outs to this situation? Arena of Glory. Showing up a little late, but I will take it. I can at least block with Tamiyo, draw a card, see how things look after that. My Brazen Borrower's in the sideboard. Okay, so we're playing against some sort of Reanimator Depths deck. Pretty cool. Drop a Seiju right on time. I could play this Dreadnought and then die. That doesn't help. I could play Kiora, make the 8/8. It doesn't have reach or flying. It doesn't stun a creature when it comes into play. Just checking for 1-drops that could help. I'm pretty sure. Or I could draw another Tamiyo, I guess. All right, I'll play Boseiju, draw a card, and it has to be Tamiyo just to tread water. Okay, we're dead. Cool. Well, that game brought to you by not having any mana, and it wasn't even Wasteland's fault this time, just literally did not play the game. I think Brazen Borrower is really the only thing here. Like I guess Leylines could come in so I can worry about only half their deck. All right, I guess I have to do that. Grumble, grumble, grumble. They might be a Bowmaster deck, but how do they have room for all these cards? I still have Force of Will, Fire Ice, Lightning Bolt. I think I'm going to shave on Ominous Seas and Greater Good and just try to be a Dreadnought deck versus this deck. 1 Lotus Petal in that environment. I could also go 1 Lightning Bolt. Okay, I'll try this. This Fire Ice can buy me a turn versus Merit Lage as well. Okay, I have Kiora and the Arena. I'm going to keep... Can it come together this time? I'm just going to play Arena and pass. A Swamp. A Thoughtseize. Probably takes Force of Will would be my guess. Oh, it took Brainstorm. Okay. Somebody wants to play a longer game. Dress down, what's up? Okay. New plan. I will force this Thoughtseize, because now I have a plan to actually win the game. And I would like to try to execute it. And they missed their second land drop. This could be a Dark Ritual go off next turn situation. And once again, a spot where Dreadnought could have haste, except it doesn't. Yeah, this has come up twice in the league. It's actually a really big problem for playing this deck online if this interaction doesn't work the way it's supposed to. Like, if my opponent's just at 6 here, then the bolt is halfway lethal. Thoughtseize. Got your ass. Oh, they're Thoughtseizing themselves. Never mind, I did not get your ass. I got my own ass. Oh no, they were Thoughtseizing me. Okay, never mind. I read the chat log and read Lightning Bolt, but it was me. Hedge Maze. Opponents have 1. Unless they have Fatal Push. Which of course is a fine magic card. Okay, well they're dead if they don't have a removal spell right now. We did it, team. I'm just going to pass. I'm not going to show them the Fire Ice unless they can stabilize somehow. Okay, we did it. Just Dreadnoughting them. Getting downright Dreadnoughty. I don't think my plan is changing. I'm going in. Yikes. I will mulligan this hand that I would keep if these were fetch lands or tropical islands. Okay, here we go. I got a ley line and some stuff to do. think I'm going to bottom Arena of Glory. Maybe I'll just bottom the island. Okay, keep, put... I haven't seen a Wasteland out of them yet. Yeah, I'll keep the Arena around. That only matters for Kiora, though. Alright, I'm going to keep the island. And Leyline cut off half the deck. Now I got to worry about Merit Lage or any sort of creature juke. Swamp. Lotus Petal. Rainstorm, okay. I like those. Urborg. Pass. Another Dreadnought. This league continues to just deliver 12/12s to my hand. Someday I'll be able to use them. Wow, okay. They must have been all in on the graveyard and the Leyline, just put them in the garbage. A quick turnaround from 0-2 to 2-2, on to the final round. We're a few rounds into the video. If you're still here and having fun, remember to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, use code BOSH for 5% off your order at toamagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the play in the final round, positive record on the line. Remember how I said Chalice of the Void on 1 is one of the greatest problems for this deck? Well, look at my opponent's actual username. It is Chalice of the Void on 1. Great job, opponent. I have the Arena and the Kiora here. I am so ready to game. My opponent has mulled to 5. Probably bad news for me. I'm just going to play Trop Pass. Misty Rainforest. That's not what I expect out of a mull to 5. I mean, obviously, you could just get unlucky sometimes. Cool. It is a Dragon's Rage Channeler. Okay, draw for my turn. Spell Pierce. Don't hate that. I am just going to pass here. I don't think their deck is going to have Chalice of the Void on it. We were lied to. Ponder. They left the card on top. I'm going to Brainstorm right now, actually, and then maybe Spell Pierce the Ponder. I'm going to seize Lightning Bolt. I love the Lightning Bolt. Dress Down doesn't matter here. And Basic Island. I might still want access to that at some point. Okay, I think I'm going to put back Dress Down and Ominous Seas. And I am going to Spell Pierce the Ponder. Because if they kept a card on top, it might be the land they're looking for to continue playing the game. And if I could slow that down, that could be great. And getting closer to Threshold matters. DEEZ was going to target my QR next turn anyway. Okay. We got through that. Scalding Tarn. We can't be sure if that was the top card, but they did fight over Ponder and then hit a land drop in that order. Okay, I'm going to Brainstorm here. I'm going to pump the brakes on just shoving Kiora into all of their open mana. Basic Island can go away, and Tropical Island can go away. And I will go to their turn and bolt in the upkeep. That's gone. And then a fetch afterwards. Okay. Wasteland is solid, but I'm set up at this point. Going after red. Got more where that came from. I could get Hedge Maze here, which does not turn on Arena, so I guess I have to get a Volk. Oh, goodness. Well, hello there, squad. I'm just going to send the Dreadnought now. And if they fend this off, then I have a hasty Octopus Queen next turn. I mean, DEEZ is good here, Force is good here, but like Lightning Bolt, the small stuff doesn't matter. Okay, yeah, really good DEEZ. But that's 2 DEEZes down. And I've got a master plan here. Please just cast Ponder or something. Nah, leaving up the Lightning Bolt sucks real bad. Okay, I can play around DEEZ, but I still get bolted. What do I do to play around that? I'm just going to cast this card. I'm excited about it. Okay, here comes Kiora. The loot is likely to occur, and she's also likely to get bolted before she attacks. Yeah, there's Bolt. I don't think Brainstorming response matters. I don't play DEEZ. Dreadnought, Lightning Bolt. Okay. I think I'm going to put away the Bolt and the Scalding Tarn and just hold on to this Dreadnought as an opportunity to try to win the game. Brainstorm. This is actually kind of perverse that a Delver player's username is Chalice of the Void on 1. This is like a Reanimator player's name being Leyline of the Void. I don't approve of this at all. Stolen Valor. Hey, Urza's Saga. I'll run that one out there. And I'm going to sit on this Brainstorm a minute. Delver flip revealing Force of Will. Wasteland. That's probably going to take out the Saga immediately. Okay, we've got to my turn. Okay, they're wasting now. That's fine. Another one. I think I'm going to cast Brainstorm, though. I don't think they would force a Brainstorm. God, that's bad. Okay. Well, there goes all that. And with this Delver beating down and Force in hand, I don't really have room to play Urza Saga. If there was a real Saga package, like a Shadow Spear or an Aether Spell Bomb, I think I could invest there. But those things are not happening in this deck. Channeler, still Force and 1 unknown in the hand. Hedge Maze, find me a good card. Force of Will is not it. Okay, I can fire the Delver. This takes some pressure off. If they force here, it actually gives me a rip that could win the game. Okay, correctly sat on their Force, if they even have a blue card to pitch. I'm at 7. Deck, okay, I get it. You want me to have Phyrexian Dreadnought in my hand. In all my days, I've never drawn Dreadnought this often when I play Dreadnought. Okay, Seeking a Beast. Mild Thundering Falls, hit Force and Murktide. Well, the Murktide taps them out, and they can't play the Force on my turn. Land from hand. Murktide from exile. And step. Make a construct. Draw and hope for the best. Consign to memory. That does put a Dreadnought into play, except I'm dead already. Okay. Good game. Brazen Borrower, Pyroblast. We've seen this already. They didn't see my combo. Consign to memory pretty bad. Endurance is fine. Casting the Fire is pretty bad. I think I have to shave a Greater Good, even though I don't want to. And I'll shave 1 Force of Will. Let's go. Last chance at redemption. A hand with lands in it, I will keep. I'm going to lead on the basic island. I'm just going to try to be hyper-disciplined about good exchanges here. I'm not going to let them Daze a Bolt. I'm not going to let them wasteland my first land drop without doing anything. Bobble, looking at your own deck. Didn't like the card. Ponder. You got it. Did not shuffle that Ponder. Saga. Get to work with that. Another Ponder. There could be an argument to Spell Piercing that because I'm not going to use my mana for anything other than Urza Saga for the next 2 turns. But if they have Wasteland, then I'm going to wish I held the Spell Pierce. Bulk, Delver. Endurance, interesting. Okay, I'll just pass the turn here. Delver was likely to flip because they just pondered. Revealing Brainstorm. You got it. Could just bolt this thing. Yeah, I think this is more important than a construct that could be swept up in any number of Meltdown or Lightning Bolt or whatever situations. They are the beatdown here. And they've got a 5/5 Murktide Regent ready to go. Planar Genesis, okay. What do I do here? Like Kiora? I think casting Kiora is the best thing I can do here. I'm going to get a Lotus Petal. The construct just doesn't matter. Taiga, Kiora. I can currently use Spell Pierce to defend her from certain types of interaction. A Lotus Petal and Dreadnought get out of here. So I need the Dreadnought if I turn the corner and start comboing. Does Endurance matter anymore? Is Endurance better or worse than Tamiyo? Does Planar Genesis matter? Maybe Planar Genesis is the worst card here. Okay. Right, Tamiyo, get on the stack. And I'll pass. I'm not going to interact with this Murktide Regent. I like clues. I like having 2 good targets for Lightning Bolt. Make them decide what they're worried about. Worried about Tamiyo. She's out of here. And now the next 1-drop is in Spell Pierce range. 5 cards in my graveyard. I could just play Dreadnought, like sack Lotus Petal, play Dreadnought, attack, make an 8/8. Can that possibly be correct? I do have Force backup if I make the 8/8. Oh, this is ugly. This only triggers if it's true when I attack. Okay. 6, Dreadnought. It would be insane if they countered the Dreadnought. Okay. I'm gonna try to make the Legendary Octopus for the first time in history. Unholy Heat that. Spell Pierce that. They have another one? Stop! Who would have thought the deck full of efficient interaction could beat a 3/2? Alright, I tried pretty hard there. Tried to get unconventional and do something, and I think instead I just did nothing. They either didn't attack or forgot to attack. Okay, we got a big oops in the chat, so forgot to attack. And with 4 spells in their graveyard now, this Endurance, if I play it, is +4/+4 permanently to the Murktide, even if I kill the Dragon's Rage Channeler in the short term. Fire Ice. Well, I can fire the DRC. I think I'm going to go into their turn first. Okay. Fire, Dragon's Rage Channeler for 1. If they can get Delirium in response, it's a blowout, but they're missing 2 card types, and they have the 2 easy ones. They have land and instant. Those are the easiest ones to get in there. Okay, that's gone. I'm a Pyroblast away from stability. Okay, I can cast Endurance now. I don't know if it's good to do that. Sought a Beast, found Ponder and Thundering Falls. Here's Questing Druid. Ponder. I want to end step this Endurance so I don't take all this extra damage from Murktide this turn. But I do want to wipe out their graveyard and then draw Pyroblast and hope for stability in that spot. They're looking at my top card. Is it Pyroblast? Please tell me. Thundering Falls from exile. Kept the card. I'm at 5. I'm going to end step Endurance. This can also chump for a turn if it needs to, which it probably will. Target you, enjoy your gigantic dragon. The fun part about that is it doesn't matter because I'm dead to the mid-sized dragon. A Pyroblast on the top of my deck. Let's go. Brazen Borrower. Arena of Glory. GG. Okay, we're out. A 2-3 final record where one opponent accidentally left the game and the other win was on the back of Leyline of the Void. We did get to do the combo at least once. We actually, game 1, round 1, got to do the combo and then never came close again. I think this deck is like 25% too clever for its own good. When I am tasked to build around a crazy combo like Greater Good, draw my deck with Ominous Seas, I would make sure that all of the support spells are the best cards they can be, and then give myself the best chance as a legacy deck to create room to do something goofy. But if you are doing additional stuff that is a little too clever, like these Urza Sagas that only actually do anything if you're ready to tutor a Dreadnought, or the Arena of Glory that... I mean, this would have been better in real life where the rules work. There were 2 spots where Dreadnought attacking with haste would have mattered in this league that I didn't get to use. But I think one of this, if you want any, is the right number. I think 0 Urza Saga, maybe 1 Taiga if you just need to bridge your mana gap somehow, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4 spots that are now open for just more Tropical Island and Volcanic Islands. You do need double green for Greater Good, but Taiga just doesn't cast Tamiyo, Brainstorm, Spell Pierce, Consign to Memory. Urza Saga and Arena of Glory don't cast Planar Genesis. Planar Genesis does not replace Ponder in any meaningful way in terms of keeping hands and making a deck with 21 lands actually work. There felt like there were too many Dreadnoughts in his deck. I just felt every single game I had between 1 and 3 Phyrexian Dreadnoughts in my hand that I couldn't use anyway. Definitely, if you have the 2 Sagas to tutor them, you don't need all 4 of these. But I guess I did need all 4 on the turn where I did resolve Greater Good and shred through the deck. Yeah, that would need some additional tinkering. But I think the Planar Genesis, Cast into the Fire, Urza Saga, Arena of Glory, Boseiju, second Taiga, all of those slots should probably just be rock solid legacy Magic cards. And the place you have to be clever is how does the combo work and how does it fit into the shell. But if you start with a strong mana base, like let's say the mana base was just as I described, and then we figured out, okay, Greater Good, Dreadnought, Ominous Seas, we did it. And then you continue to iterate, you're like, well, we're worried about Chalice of the Void. What if we sneak a Boseiju in here? Do we really need all 3 tropical islands? And do we have enough green cards to bitch to Endurance? Is there something that's almost like Ponder, but it's green? And your deck just gets slightly worse here, slightly worse here. And then you're no longer supporting the actual exciting, clever thing. You've out-clevered yourself, which I think is where this list landed. I think the combo is cool. I don't think Dreadnought's embarrassing. I don't think even having Greater Good to go off sometimes is embarrassing. I think even playing just Ominous Seas on turn 2 in a deck that's built for a long game is not embarrassing. But I don't think we are built for a long game. And we just have a lot of awkward cards try to feed one thing. This is like building the top of your pyramid first without having a solid base and then being surprised when it falls to the ground. That's my feedback on that. Kratos and Jamstone Forge, thank you for sending this in. Hopefully that feedback, and I know you both enjoy a good brew. Hopefully that feedback helps for future brews and helps clean up this list a lot. Everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.